For eligible Canada Emergency Business Account loan holders, CEBA forgiveness repayments are due later this month. As the January 18th deadline looms closer, many business owners are struggling to come up with the cash. So what will happen to those who can't repay it? Joining us with more is Peter Sashecki with Everything Financial. Peter, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
This is a deadline that is looming for a lot of businesses. It has been extended to January 18th. It was extended once, and now this is the new deadline. But a lot of businesses are thinking, gosh, it's going to be really hard to pay back. How much do they owe for the most part?
They could owe either if you took the $40,000 loan, you get $10,000 of forgiveness, so you'll owe $30,000 if you pay by the 18th.
Yep.
And if you did the secondary loan that came out later and you bumped yours up to $60,000, you get $20,000 of forgiveness. That's a $40,000 check due January 18th.
Yeah, I think we're sort of hearing anecdotally that a lot of small businesses are really struggling to pay that back. What happens if they don't?
If you don't pay it back, and you kind of want to use the word default or something, but it really goes to a situation where the government then institutes a payback system over 3 years at 5% interest. So if you think about it, and I know I would love to slam the government, but in this case, I can't, because that's a very fair, especially in today's interest rate markets, a very fair 3-year payback, amortization, payback schedule. So there is alternatives, though.
I think and I'm kind of going to put words in your mouth, but I would think at this point, business owners who don't think they can pay the full amount back should pay as much as they can, so they have as little interest as possible to pay.
If you can't pay it back, and so you're not going to get the relief of the $10,000 or the $20,000, then default to either one of two things. Now you're running out of time. Either just go with the government payback system. Yes, you don't get the forgiveness, but you're still paying back your entire loan. Or go for some other financing out there, and they are available at banks and some other refinance companies to pay back this loan. Some of the interest rates are the same, too, as the government. Like, I've seen one yesterday because I was doing some research for this. That's 5%. The difference is your payback in those cases is 2 years, not 3 years. But you save, the bank, in this case, will pay your $30,000, let's say, for you. But then you're paying them back $30,000 over 2 years. And your payment versus the 2 or the $40,000 at 3 is very similar. But if you borrow from the bank, it allows you that $10,000 or possibly that $20,000 of forgiveness.
Yeah, hopefully people are able to make that deadline. So it is worth it to shop around for maybe to take out a different loan to pay off the other loan.
Exactly. And if your interest costs you $6,000 or $7,000 over the next 2 years, so your net is about $36,000, $37,000, better than $40,000 plus 5% interest doing it through the government. Still saving money.
Yeah. So we're sort of seeing this, we've seen this deadline extended twice now. Do we think that it could be extended? The more people who are concerned about not paying back the loans? And
no, I wouldn't bet on it. No. I mean, and the best thing to do is be upfront. If you can't do it, call. There's numbers. There's a whole online thing about it from the government, and say, no, I'm not going to be able to do it here. Let's set up the payment plan, get it going. The government will work with you. I mean, everyone's afraid always of CRA when they owe money. If you pick up the phone and call and you say, this is what I can afford, this is what I'm going to do, they are actually really good about working with you. They're not trying to put you out of business. It's not in their best interest.
Of course. I imagine you've, likely worked with a lot of small businesses yourself with your Everything Financial. Like, what are you hearing from people? Are they in good shape right now?
There's a lot of people are actually in good shape. There is obviously some very small businesses that are finding it tough and just haven't been able to get going since that thing that happened for 2.5, 3 years, whatever that was. I don't remember.
Shut down the world.
We don't say the word because you have to put money in the swear jar if you say it. But there's a lot of people who are starting to get traction, but because of inflation and the economy the last year, they're a little bit behind. I mean, it would have been great if the government did one more year on this, but they were also giving out money hand over fist. So eventually, they have to start collecting that money back because the debt's just gone through the roof. So call your bank, make a last-minute call, and if not, what's the worst-case scenario? It's a very fair payback system from the government over the next 3 years. You borrowed the money,
there you go.
You got to pay it back.
Yep. Peter Sashecki with Everything Financial. Thanks for that.
Thanks a lot.